know, buddy. Yeah, you can start whenever you want.
Testing, 1, 2, test. Testing, 1, 2, test.
Yeah, give it a minute.
Yeah, we're going to get everything started. As you know, we have a town hall meetings to give you more information that's needed, or talk about what was discussed, like, board meetings on Tuesday, but,
We can't hear you.
okay? Somebody? I got 2 events.
Yeah.
All right, we have these meetings to kind of give you more information about what's going on that maybe not discussed at a board meeting, or it'll be like a summary for a board meeting. One thing I was glad about last night, that the budget passed, the increase, and the amendments passed. That was a good thing too, as well. Was going to have a lot of discussion today if it did not pass about the budget, but it passed. It was 740 some, is that correct? I don't have the paper with me.
702 for the budget, 463, no, thank you. I don't know.
So, and then the amendments are like 900 some piece, right? Close to it.
The amendments were, 843, 840, 854, and 251, 241, 49, and 250.
Okay.
$250 of less, it's over 500.
Okay. Also, we announced last night the speeding issue was, I really like the fact of what we heard with the meeting with the county, that they certify the signs and they'll put a letter together that we can give the sheriff's department to patrol the streets and things like that. So that'll give like code enforcement a, kind of a, where we can't, well, we can say that they're not doing their job. We can't say that much anymore, because, the sheriffs would be doing some patrolling, and that'll be paid by probably a grant if we can get it. There's some grants going on there. That was really good news, because, I know in the past we relied on code enforcement to do run radar and things like that. And we give them what is it, $50 in loss of privileges?
$50 for loss of privileges for 30 days.
Depends on the speed, right?
No, that's the first, on the speed, it could be 75 and 45 days, and then 100 in 2 months.
So have you done anything this morning with the golf carts and things out there? Anything left?
It's all finished. The only thing we gotta do is put the motorcycles on it.
Okay. out front. That really looks good out there. Appreciate that.
I struck the yellow this morning.
Okay.
Walking.
That looks good, and plus, we had a good day yesterday with the RV compound, getting people to move trailers and free up some more spots and that kind of thing. We moved some trailers this morning, as a matter of fact, so we've been busy with that. So hopefully, next, you'll see probably all the spots gone, as far as people, coming down from Canada, that thing that they could not do in, like, last year. Has anybody got any question about anything? It's gonna be kind of a short meeting today. Because we've got all good news, and usually when it's good news, you don't have too many questions or, comments or anything. Let's see, we try our best to, like, any violation that's out there or anything suspected, that, I will say one thing, that sometimes people say that, residents say that, well, so-and-so gets away with this, and, why is not code enforcement doing anything? Well, they don't know if they, like, the resident themselves doesn't know whether their neighbor's got a violation for it yet, or is on the verge of paying the fine, that kind of thing. Well, one thing I like about what we passed last night was making some of these people habitual offenders, because you're gonna get hit with a fine right off and not 14 days to correct it, because it can be anything like my paper right here. These are all violations through, let's see, there's 634 violations this month. For the whole year, and it went to 10/22 of last month. And I've noticed there's probably at least 40 addresses in here that are over and over. Some of them probably shows up every month or so, every other month. Well, if we claim they're, habitual offenders, and next time they got weeds in their gutter or, have an unregistered person or anything, they get hit with it right away, and they don't have like 14 days to fix it. So that's pretty good. That'd be one of the things we concentrate on. And another thing we concentrate on is trying to find out who's unregistered and who's, not supposed to be here, because that's kind of shocks me when I read it, that there was at least 69 people that had been unregistered at one time or another this year. Like, there's 2 unregistered males residing in resident. And, everything, there's usually some about every page, like there's 1 on one page, 3 on that page, 1 on that one. One page that one has 6, and then you've got like, 9, 5, 12. So yeah, those are by, just in the first 3 months of this year, we had probably close to 25. Now we're averaging about 3 or 4 a month that shows up on the paper. There was a question asked this morning by the AEVRC committee, why there's no speeding violations to look at. And one thing you gotta keep in mind is Florida, in the state of Florida, all the tags are usually on the back of the vehicle. So for code enforcement to get the picture of the tag from behind, people slow down by the time they see them. By the time they get close enough to get a picture of the tag, well, they're not speeding. So there was one appeal. That person did not show up, so That was on that, but, let's see, one thing I didn't announce was we had 7, ACC committee, we had 7 projects being done. And it was like putting in 2 new homes, adding a chain link fence, adding another chain link fence, extending the driveway, and installing 2 vinyl fences. That's what was approved last time at the ACC meeting. So anybody got a question about anything, we'll be glad to answer it. If I don't know the answer, Gail can answer it. I don't see any questions out there. So, I will tell you that even though the budget passed last night, we're still gonna do our due diligence to make sure everything's run smooth, make sure there's not any overspending, that kind of thing. So still gonna be the checks and balances are gonna be there. Let's see, what else is going on? We did get some ideas from, the county about some of the lines, if they start sooner in the curve, like it'll make it look like the lane's narrow. There's a way to do that with just by moving the lines out. Father, I don't know how I'll have to get more detail of that, and I do have a report from him, by the way. Let's see. Okay, it's just saying that, that they're confirming that they'll start that. Starting it as soon as, looks like next month, they'll start certifying the signs. So that's good. Well, nobody's got any question about anything. All right, go ahead.
I just want to bring everybody up to speed as to what we all voted on last year. I'll come because I'm not doing the amendments. One of the amendments was they wanted to know if we would allow 2 people in the same household to run for the board, to be on the board at the same time. We put it out for a vote because people wanted that, and it was soundly defeated. And our thing always was that everybody in Brookridge gets 1 vote per household, and that's a possible 2,800 votes. And for 7 people on the board of directors, to have 2 people in the same household, we felt it wasn't right, but people had asked us to come forward for it, so that's what we did, and we thank the majority of Brookridge for that. The second one was in our bylaws, it was kind of an old bylaw, because when we checked with the attorney, he says that in one of our bylaws, it says the president will be the CEO of the company, which is Brookridge. What that means is that the president as CEO can unilaterally make decisions without conferring with anybody at all. And I'll tell you, I know that those have been in place for about 25 years, and it never happened until last year. So we had to alleviate that, because whoever thought that would happen. But people resoundingly defeated that also. And the third one that you voted on was the nominating committee. They're the ones that take the resumes from the candidates for board resumes, from the candidates for board of directors, and when we have a race for unit reps, they also do that. We have to vet them to make sure that they have no criminal record, that there's a couple of things, and one of them is to make sure that you are in good standing with Brookridge. That is mean that you don't have any complaints against you, you don't have any, you're not in arrears. So that's what the nominating committee does. It used to be December 1st, and they found that there's just not enough time to do that when they only had about 7 days. So we gave them, a month and a half more, so that as they come in, they start getting vetted. And $3 pay increase in the assessments. Every dollar is $33,900. Florida passed the law last year that minimum wage is going up to $15. So every year, October 1st, anybody who doesn't make $10 an hour goes up to $10 for this October. Next October, it's going to be $11, and it's going to go forth until it comes up to $15. So we've got to get everybody up, because there was very few people making more than $10 an hour. Few people that have been here for a long, long time, but that's about it. So that pay increase is about between $25,000 and $30,000 at any one time. So if it hadn't passed, it would have been a little difficult for the Brookridge residents to have everything that we have now. So I just wanted to give you a recap as to what benefit it was. And I actually had somebody today say to me that they were always against the budget increase because we have a lot of people in Brookridge that don't have enough food. And that's why, I don't know if everybody's heard of FISH, but this is a group that was started with Ron Ross and a few others, and now they have about 30 people on that. And FISH stands for Friends in Service Here. Everything that is collected goes directly to Brookridge. Everybody's name is anonymous, and it's usually a neighbor or somebody that says, this person doesn't have enough food to eat. So that's what FISH has been doing. They've been picking up that slack so that we don't have people that can't afford their food and stuff. They also will look at the complaints that come in, the list that Jerry has been reading to you, and they will see who's got like weeds or something on their lawn, or gutters down or something, and they will go to the to code enforcement, and they will ask code enforcement if there's a situation, because many of these people are in their 80s, or even, we have people, they just helped a 99-year-old woman because she couldn't get up on her windows anymore, to do her windows anymore. So they take that and they alleviate that, so they're not there, so they are in compliance and they don't have any violations or anything. So that is somehow that the volunteers of Brookridge help people so that we can keep this place running. So I just wanted to let people know that. Thanks, Jerry.
Okay, well, I'll go back to one thing that, we talked about the habitual offender thing. That will probably be more of the certain addresses are not, we're not looking for people that's constantly got weeds in their gutter to be a habitual offender. We're looking more at this unregistered tenant type thing, because to me, that's where the danger's at. Not worried so much about, somebody with maybe an excessive amount of mold on something too much. I'm worried about this unregistered tenant being a felon that can break in your house and this kind of thing. So we were wanting to really target them as far as the habitual offender stuff. I know there's a couple addresses in here that are constantly, we got some addresses that they've probably got 20 or 30 violations, but they have a tendency to get it cleaned up in like 15 days, get it presentable in 15 to 14 days, and then they don't get a fine. Well, they keep doing that over and over again. Why don't they do it the one time and fix it and then be done with it? But instead, they go back doing the same thing. So they're trying to beat the system. So, as far as the RV compound goes, we got people in there now. There's a handful that's got like unregistered trailers that are expired trailers and this kind of thing, but most of them, we stay on top of that now and do our best to like call them, right away. I think I've got a list of phone numbers of the, landscaping trailers, and then the other ones, if they're out, like, that's how we come up with the people this morning, that came and we moved theirs, and, cause theirs was not in compliance either, theirs was outdated registration, so we didn't know whether, they lived in here or they didn't live in here, and look, we found out they did live in here, so, there's kind of like, it was leaning over, so I don't know if it was gonna fall into the next trailer or anything like that, but, that's taken care of. I'm looking down through here, and most of what I see in here is like, for violations throughout the whole entire year is, you got a lot of, like I said, you got 69 unregistered people that have been here at one time or another this year, and the rest of it is mainly, ACC violations and that kind of thing. There's a handful of speeding in here. I think I found out this morning that it's not listed as speeding, it's actually listed as the one we had this morning. Let's see if I've got that paper. Because I questioned why it was not, it was a speeding violation, but it was under other, so it would not be listed on that report as speed, and it'd be listed as something else. So I've got to go back through there to see exactly how many people that had. Usually it'll say vehicle and something else, but, vehicles parked on the grass, utility trailers parked in the yard, and then there's places where it was parked on the carport, no lattice. There's some 136 mile an hour in 30 miles an hour zone. Most of it is to make sure the appearance meets everyone else. We'll say that, we've got the wording next time we come to a meeting. We'll have, like, on the agenda will be the wording regarding, if it's lattice on the, to cover up a trailer or anything on the carport, has to be attached to the carport. That's one thing that'll be on the agenda. I'm gonna vote yes on that.
Yeah, one question on, YouTube is, how much, is there still a waiting list for the RV spots?
Yeah, there's probably about 30, 35 on it. That's, right, Manny, but it goes back to, April. Most of them want a big spot. They got like an RV and another trailer. You only really got, for an RV and a second trailer, you've only got like 15, 20 spaces that can be done that way. You're talking 15, 20 spaces out of about 265. I think it might be a little bit more than that.
How many are on the list for the RVs? For the big RVs? Versus, out of that 30, 35?
There's probably most of them are them.
Oh, most of them are the big RVs then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cause we've got about 15 available spots that I've seen, and they're only like, they're little 10-foot spots. And you can't put, of course, you can't put a 40-foot RV in a 10-foot spot.
Those are just for the, cargo trailers, right?
Yeah,
Little
for the
utility trailers?
For the landscaping trailers, yep. Like I told Carol today, I said, well, it looks like we've got about 15 openings, and all of them are around the 40s and 40, 50s, and 60s, and those are all little 10-foot spots. And, so these people are just gonna have to wait, because there's not enough room for the large RVs to go in there, and there's not enough spots available. I mean, 20 spots is all there is that you can get two of them in, even on both sides of the road. So, because the way that thing's designed is you got probably 15 or 20 that's on the inside, that's in the pie shape, in the peak of the pie shape, and those can't be used for anything but small cargo trailers and landscaping trailers. So it's just the way it's, not this way we did it, it's just the way way that whole thing is with the roads and things through it. So, has anybody got any question about anything else? Okay.
I just got here a couple of months ago, so I'm not sure about everything, but I'm not sure about everything, but I don't know about people not coming to code with their yards and whatever, the grass, but I've seen pieces of what you would have to consider Brookridge responsibility looking worse than the grass that I've seen in the yards. And I was wondering about that. Besides that, I don't know how far back my lot goes, but it goes back to a fence that is to the outside. And I'm wondering if I mow up to the fence to keep it clean, but I was wondering if it was my responsibility to take care of the stuff that's been growing up in the fence.
Well, I say, I don't know where your address is, but probably not. That fence, stuff growing through the fence, that kind of thing, probably belongs to the county, I'll say that. They're supposed to, that's their responsibility. You just got the grass in there to mow and stuff, but anything growing on the fence and coming through there is gonna be the county. Also,
I just wanna, sir, what we can do after the meeting is we can take your name and your address and your phone number, and then we can have code enforcement and Public Works just go down and look to see where it is, to see whose responsibility it is. So we can do that. We can get that. But it's a fair question.
Yeah, it's a question, but as long as it's not my responsibility, I don't care whose responsibility it is. As long as I keep mowing up to the fence.
Yeah, no, it's that your lot is that's all you're responsible for. Okay?
as far as the rest of it goes, that some of the places in here, you can say that maybe look worse than some of the lots is because we've only got 2 people in Public Works. And for them to keep up with things, they've got to do other things now as well. Like right now, they're trimming the trees, is that correct? For the, especially out here. As far as mowing goes, we're talking what? Probably, the most of the mowing's done in the rain, done after the rain season, like cleaning out the retention bonds, that kind of stuff. But mainly right now is trimming the trees. They're painting the guard shack because it looked really bad. It was, some of the walls in there need to be like replastered and that kind of thing. So that's gonna be probably the next thing is go back out and start. I think Kevin started mowing some more today. I think Billy was the one doing the painting inside of the guard shack this morning. But that's something needs to be, something we need to stay on top of. That was one of the reasons why I was glad that the budget passed. Maybe we can put back a third person as far as, the public works goes, because we did lose a third person last year. Earlier this year. So that'll take care of that. Let's see, you got anything you wanna say, Vince, about anything?
I think I said too much last night.
Okay. Said too much last night? Well, it was all good. I mean, you gave your report on the roof and that kind of thing. You told what, Mike Long does in conjunction with getting 3 bids, and that was fine. So that was good information.
Well, I can touch on that, so, if you want me.
Yeah,
On top of our consultant giving us a weekly report, with that weekly report, he comes out and, he inspects what's already been done. He's a certified roofing consultant, so, he's been in the business a very long time, at least, a good 25 years as a roofer, as a roofing company owner, and now he consults for people like us that need to, get new roofs put on our buildings. So in that respect, what he performs as an inspection, he just doesn't go up there and look and say, everything looks good, okay? He gives me a detailed report via email with pictures and his thoughts, where they're lacking, either if they're doing something wrong, they immediately fix it. We've only been doing this since Tuesday, so there's nothing been going wrong. I'm just giving you a heads up of what his job is for us. He works for us, not the roofing company. So it's basically, like I said last night, an insurance policy on our behalf for a contractor to adhere to his specifications, the manufacturer's specifications as far as how they're laying it and what they're doing. So there's a lot more detail than what he's doing. He's just going up there and looking and say everything looks good. So, he's already submitted his first report, and I'm looking forward to next Monday's report. So he'll be out weekly until the job is done. Thanks.
okay. Also, I'll let people know that we're trying to, it's in the beginning stages, but we come up with some ideas last night, bring more people into here to do things. We thought about a good idea last night was have like a festival out here, like different vendors, and we talked about something similar to like Oktoberfest, right? Last night, bringing tents and bringing other vendors in here, still want to have music in the park. That would be good. Not just for us, but for the whole community, get involved in that. Let's see, I'm all for anything that has to do with raising money for the clubs, raising money for Brookridge, have things going on all the time. I think that's the best way to meet your neighbors is have all these events going on. I will say I went to the show last month here. I think you were here too, Vince, wasn't you? Last month, just last week we had the Southern Darlings, what were they called? American Sweethearts. They were really good. And I know one of them was kind of nervous because she was new, but it was a good show and everything. I'm not really a fan of the what kind of sisters, Andrews sisters, but I didn't really know any of the songs till they got the second half because I never heard any of the first ones. I mean, if it'd been Hank Williams Jr., I mean, Hank Williams, I'd have probably known it, cause my father listened to, Hank Williams. He never listened to Junior, but he always Hank Williams and Johnny Cash and, them back there in the, that's why I remember growing up in the sixties, so, yeah. And then it was, what do you call it, Jack Benny and White Christmas and all that, or something like that. Some of these people I try to play Christmas music at the office and they like, it's too early for that. So, I started to sing Merry Christmas to them this morning and I got stopped in my tracks there. So, it's 2:30 now, I'll just call it, end it. So I appreciate everybody coming out today. I figured it would be a long one if we had to go through what was gonna happen with the budget, but it was not. So, we're just gonna keep our due diligence about things and, Friday night bingo, I can bring that up, that they're kind of break it even right now, so they're not really paying anything yet to the budget wise. And you would take about a couple of months to take off, so, we expected that. The news and views, I can say, found out this morning that we've made close to $13,000 on it already. So that's real good, cause that was like what we was getting before was like $1,000 a year. And right now it's sitting at 12, almost 13,000 in just the 4 months. September, October, November, now December as well. She was telling me that only 11 of them has paid for the whole year. So you kind of take those off, and then you got the other people that paid by the month. And I said, well, at the end of the year, as long as you don't have that many people paying yearly, then you have other additional income coming in at the end of the year. Some won't look like you've spent so much money printing and not collected it. So that was really good when I saw that this morning. So, everything, of course, the news and views will have a sheet that tells what the budget was, what the amendments passed, and that thing will be in there, and it's supposed to be your December, I won't say, she said the 2nd, so, that's, yeah. So that's all I have. I appreciate everybody coming out today. Like I said, these meetings are short, try to be informal and tell information that we didn't get a chance to talk about on Wednesday night. And if something happens in between the Tuesday morning meeting and the Wednesday night meeting, we're able to share that information. I thank everyone that voted for the budget. Thank everyone that had confidence in us that we could do something to keep things under control and not go crazy with that. Oh yeah, I got one information. Somebody asked about if the truck had a transmission cooler on it because it's got a tow package to it. And I looked, I told him, I said, I can open it and I can tell you in 10 minutes, 10 seconds whether it has or not. Yes, it has a transmission cooler on it. So it does have one of those. So it'll be able to use for years to come. All right, well, I thank everybody for coming out, and if there's any other questions you want to ask privately, feel free to do so. And if I can't get the answer, and if Gail doesn't have it, we will get it for you. Thank you.